Strong spirit, unsinkable mind, high pain tolerance. These are the words I would have used to describe myself a year ago. At the time, I felt invincible. My academics were strong, my ambitions were high, my motivation undying. Amazing family and friends always by my side, cheering me on to shatter expectations and reach new heights. It felt so sudden. I wasn't sad, nor was I angry. I was just confused. I had gotten so caught up in the wave of progress that when I was diagnosed, I couldn't comprehend what to feel. I had always been the rock for those around me, the reliable one, the one with no problems. April 28th, 2021 is a day I will never forget, because it was the day I was diagnosed with stage 2 tongue cancer. It would soon become a lesson I never knew I needed. Being so young, the doctors had high hopes. A grocery list of procedures, including an RFF reconstruction, neck dissection, partial glossectomy, and a few others, meant that a 10-hour surgery followed by a week in the hospital was required. Even hearing of what needed to be done, we kept our spirits high. I kept thinking about all the ways I could benefit from this. I could skip the rest of the semester. I could put it on my college applications. I'd get a cool scar on my arm. I'd get a story to tell. And on that high of confidence, I charged into the procedure, thinking that this would all be done and over with by mid-June. I was so eager to just get it over with. After a few days in the hospital, I begged my doctor to let me out early. I had work to do, a life to get back to. I was tired of wasting time. I had gotten addicted to progress, to efficiency, and being stuck in a hospital room with a left arm stuck in a cast and a tongue so swollen I could barely speak was starting to piss me off. By the time I got out, I was beaming with eagerness. It felt like a dream. I could finally get back to work. I didn't have to think about it anymore. I've always been good at distracting myself, and these circumstances had maxed me out, so much in fact that I had completely forgotten about the required second round of treatment, radiation therapy. The worst part. Again, I told myself it would be okay. Proton is still better than photon radiation, so there would be less symptoms. 6 weeks isn't that bad, and the symptoms don't even start until 2 weeks in, and so on, and so forth. I just kept charging in blind, expecting I'd come out untouched and fully ready to go back to normal. 20 minutes of treatment, 5 days a week, for 6 weeks. By week 4, I had gone on so much pain medication that I had to go to the ER because my lungs stopped working. My mouth was on fire all of the time, and eating had become such a battle that I had lost 20 pounds. Morphine and fentanyl became the routine. I couldn't spare a second without them. By the time the taper off the medications had begun, the damage was done. A combination of my non-existent self-care and the mind-numbing of the medication, my then clear mind was met with a perfect storm of mental instability. I began to doubt everything about myself. All that was cemented before had become unrooted, and I could have easily spiraled and destroyed all the progress I had made in the last few years. All the core values I had strengthened, the relationships I had put so much effort into, the goals I had established, I could have very easily lost it all. If it weren't for my supportive family and friends, I probably wouldn't have had the motivation to be sharing this story, nor would I have pushed so hard to get off the painkillers. It was the boost from my support system that allowed me to get back on track, and with it came a new perspective that I will never shed, no matter how illogical it may seem. I never bothered to consider the mental stress I was going through. Anytime I was faced with conflict, I would just let it happen or play it down as a defense mechanism. All the mental stress I had faced in my life until that point, I could deflect in another direction. I had achieved a false peace of mind that assumed I would achieve happiness simply by thinking logically, by erasing irrationality. But all that does is shield you from the reality of your circumstances. Happiness cannot be achieved with logic alone, as it is irrational in nature, and the more you deny that, the harder it will be to achieve. All of us have this kernel of irrationality inside us. It's what fuels our traits, our personalities, our beliefs. It is the backbone of emotion and the key to happiness. It can be painful to think about and to try to comprehend the part of yourself that doesn't make any sense. But it's the very act of doing so that leads you to a clear and unadulterated happiness. Immunity doesn't exist, and there is no such thing as a high pain tolerance. It simply means you haven't been hit hard enough yet. You must always be ready to face what life will inevitably throw at you, and the best thing you can do is to accept that you aren't invincible and embrace irrationality. I'd like to end on a quote from Ray Dalio. Every time you confront something painful, you are at a potentially important juncture in your life. You have the opportunity to choose the healthy and painful truth or the unhealthy but comfortable delusion. Thank you all for watching, and everyone, keep thinking and be happy.